The president of Venezuela told the judge he had been kidnapped and called himself a political prisoner. This morning, Nicolas Maduro and wife Celia Flores are waking up in jail, returned after a day in court where they both pleaded not guilty to charges they worked together to traffic cocaine. Maduro entered the courtroom first in shackles and canvas sneakers, orange, the color designated for high-profile or high-risk inmates. He greeted spectators in the courtroom saying, "Buenos dias," put on headphones for Spanish translation, and rose in his seat as the judge asked, "Are you Nicolas Maduro?" "I am the president of the Republic of Venezuela," a defiant Maduro responded. "I am here kidnapped. I was captured at my home in Caracas, Venezuela." Flores called herself First Lady of the Republic of Venezuela before the judge cut them off. "Let me interfere," the judge said. "There will be a time and place to go into all of this." The defense already signaling it would challenge their capture, calling the U.S. military operation an abduction. Asked how he pleaded to the charges, Maduro said, "I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man. I am still president of my country." Flores then stated her plea, not guilty, completely innocent. Maduro's wife appeared with a bruised and bandaged head. Her lawyer said she may have a fracture or severe bruising on her ribs. As Maduro was led from the courtroom, someone in the gallery stood and shouted in Spanish, "You will pay in the name of Venezuela." Maduro stopped, turned to face the heckler, saying, "I am the elected president. I am a prisoner of war. I will be free." But Maduro is going nowhere. He did not even ask for bail, and we're not expected to see him again until March. That's when he's due back in federal court.
Okay, Aaron, thanks. It's our Chief Legal Analyst, Dan Abrams. He's right here. So we just heard Aaron say Maduro says he's a prisoner of war. He says he's still the president. How does that affect the legal case?
All right, so the legal process is going to be the same for him as it would be for any other defendant. But he's got additional arguments that he's going to try to make. He's going to say he was captured improperly and illegally. He's going to say he's immune because he's head of state. These are all the sorts of legal arguments that will make this a little different as a legal matter. But as a practical matter, I don't think those arguments are going to win. I think in the end, he's going to be a criminal defendant like any other.
So what could we expect, the strategy from the defense going forward?
Yeah, look, I think that it's going to be the kind of defense you would see in a lot of drug cases, right? Where the person who's alleged to be at the top says, "Well, if there was illegality going on, I certainly didn't know about it. I certainly didn't order it." And I think you're going to see that sort of defense with regard to the drug charges in particular. Remember, there's also some weapons charges, etc.
And you think the same with his wife?
Well,
same argument.
Well, that's right. Remember, because there's going to be probably a separate trial for his wife. So you may see completely separate defenses here. And in particular, with regard to his wife, expect to hear, "I didn't know that this was happening. How are you blaming me for the conduct of what other people may or may not have been doing?"
Have you have any sense of how strong this case is?
Well, look, the indictment is a little bit thin with regard to details. But remember, this case was initially brought in 2020. So it's not that this was a new case that has suddenly been brought now. It is something that the government has believed for years that they can prove. We're going to have to see if they can back up some of what they're saying. Some of the details, particularly with regard to some of the weapons stuff, is a little bit vague. But when it comes to the cocaine trafficking in particular, that's probably where the case is going to be strongest.
All right, Dan.